We're going to go ahead and add a project as an example. So I've just come across a project called Hole in the Wall Beach, and the parking lot for this project has been used as a demonstration site for various permeable pavement methods and stormwater management techniques. So I'd like to add it to the map. So I've logged in as a network member, and I've navigated to this page. I've reminded myself of how to use the form. And the very first thing I'm going to do is come over here to Add New Project. So as much as I want to start filling in the blank forms, I'm going to Add New Project before I do anything. So I'm going to go ahead, click on that now. And nothing has changed, but because I've clicked on it, I've told the website that I'm going to start adding information. So now my information will be recognized. So all of these fields correspond to the information that are in the marker balloons that we saw back on the map. And this is where I can enter that information here to be displayed on the map. For the project name, at the very top of the field, I'm going to enter the name of the beach, which is Hole in the Wall Beach. Now that title is going to be used on the left sidebar menu, as well as in the searches and in the balloon. The next field is Project Summary. I'm going to click in it. We recommend that you try to keep the summary under 15 words. Those balloons are pretty big as they are, and the more information you add, the more space they will take up. So I'm going to type in a brief summary of the project. It won't cut you off after 15 words, but again, that's what we found is a good maximum in terms of opening those balloons on the map. Now the next part has an asterisk. The project summary did not. So if you do not have a project summary, you do not have to add one. But the next field, Street 1, does have an asterisk, meaning that it's required. So I know the project is located on Route 156. It's in the city or town called East Lyme. I'm going to go over here to state, which is also required. I'm going to choose Connecticut. Oops, misspelled Lyme. And I don't know the zip code, so I'll leave that blank now. The next fields are latitude and longitude. These are used to put a marker on the map. So nobody sees this at any point in time, but it's exactly where that marker is going to go on the map. And I don't have that information. So I'm relying on the street, city, and state information I've added above. And this form is going to use that information to find latitude and longitude for me. So I do not have to type that in. If I know that information, I could type it in as well, but I don't, so I'm going to leave it blank. Under land use type, I'm going to pick civic, and I'm going to pick for LID practice that it's permeable pavement. This is another required field. This color codes the marker, so you have to make a choice here. Then you can choose some links. There's a link for project photo. If I had a project photo, I could add the link to the project photo. The photo has to be online somewhere. You can also only add one photo. If you add more than one, you will crash the system. So you can only add one. I can add a project website. If I already have the information online somewhere and a project profile on my network website, I would click project website. If I had a link to something that wasn't necessarily just about the project and it's not a photo, I could choose other. So in this case, I choose other, because the town of East Lyme has a nice website about the beach, but not necessarily the project itself. And I'm going to choose from that drop-down menu that it's an other. Finally, project enter by is also required. This adds the icon, the name, and the website link to the bottom of the balloon. This is a Connecticut NEMO project. Not that Connecticut NEMO did the project, but that Connecticut NEMO is adding the project to the map. So I select that. I don't really know when the project was completed, so I'm going to leave that blank. If I knew, I could choose a year. I could choose a month. If it's in planning, I could choose in planning. I'm not really sure, so I'll leave it blank. And the final thing is at the very end, you click Save Project. When you click Save, I'll point out a couple of things. It's added the project title on the left sidebar, Hole in the Wall Beach. There it is. And all the information in the form has been saved. But you'll notice in the latitude and longitude box, it's added not found because the form did not recognize this street address. So if that happens, it means you have to either fix the street address or enter the coordinates yourself in the latitude and longitude. We've added in the help guide at the top of the page how to do this. It's a website called geoposition.com, my geoposition, which is this page here. And when you go to it, you can click on the map, and it will return your coordinates, which you can copy and paste and go back to the website and paste them in the box here. The other nice thing that popped up, if you notice on project links, at the bottom is I've now been given a choice to name the link if I wanted to. And I can name it something so that when people click on that hot link, they know where they're going. And when I'm done making those changes, I can click Save Changes to the project, and those changes have been added to the project. And finally, the last thing to point out, if I want to edit a project, I can go to the project on the sidebar. I'll click on that project. It shows me which one I've clicked on. All the information is pulled into the form based on how I entered it before. And I'm going to name this link. I now want to name this link so that people know where they're going. I've made that change. I'm going to click Save Changes to Project at the bottom. And now that change has been saved. And you'll also notice below the menu on the side is a little mini map that shows you where that marker is going to be stored on the map. If that box does not show up, that means you don't have coordinates and you need a latitude and longitude. When the box does show up, you can zoom in and zoom out to see where your marker is going to show up to make sure it's in the right spot. And in some cases, the satellite imagery is so good that viewers can actually see the LID practice on the Google Maps. So you do want to make sure the marker is in a good spot. And finally, if I wanted to delete a project, I can click on that red button next to the project name. And I get a pop-up window that makes sure I want to delete it. If I do want to delete it, I press OK. If I don't, I press Cancel. So in this case, I don't. I'm going to press Cancel. Once that's deleted, it's deleted forever. We, on our end, cannot restore that information. I'm all done here. I'm going to go back to the left sidebar to that Exit to Map hot link. I'm going to exit to Map. It's going to prompt me to save the project. I did save the project. I'll say OK. And there you go. Your project's been added to the map.